had sex a good 5 times that night. Yes. So I mean, don't let him sit here and play the role.
I didn't
Okay.
Now I'm starting to believe this was part of your scheme or plan to get to her phone.
His girlfriend pops out and say, "Hey, won't you tell him about what his aunt said?" What did my aunt say? "Oh, she said you might not be mine."
You 36 years old.
And I'm looking like, huh?
I've been 4 to 5 years in jail. It gets rough.
For unpaid child support.
Yes, ma'am.
For a young woman that calls you, family member told me you may not even be my biological father.
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Scott doubts being the father of Ms. Kalon's 4-month-old daughter, Ezra. He hopes the paternity test will clear his name. The tension is palpable as he states his intention, clearly affected by the situation. Grab your popcorn. The drama is just heating up.
You're here today denying you fathered the defendant, Ms. Kalon's 4-month-old daughter, Ezra, and today's paternity results will clear your name. You claim the plaintiff was excited when he found out you were pregnant, but then only a few months before you gave birth, Mr. Scott disappeared.
You think that was something? Just watch. Ms. Kalon accuses Mr. Scott of being unfaithful throughout their relationship, revealing that he had other relationships while they were together. This revelation adds a layer of complexity to their dispute, suggesting a deeper history of mistrust. Strap in. The roller coaster of revelations isn't over yet.
Because you've since learned he was in another relationship.
Plenty of them, I've
the
heard.
entire time you were together. Claim to
true. I
Mr.
wasn't in a
Scott's
relationship when I was
petition
with her.
for a paternity test is for $2,260 for child care expenses.
Did someone say plot twist? In addition to the paternity dispute, Ms. Kalon files a counterclaim against Mr. Scott for $2,260 to cover childcare expenses and repayment of loans. This financial aspect introduces another level of contention between the parties, emphasizing the stakes involved. You won't believe what's coming up next.
She went to sleep. I happened to go through her phone. I went through her phone.
On the first night you guys had a date?
The reason why I went through your phone, the reason why I went through your phone.
He had no reason to go to my phone.
Her phone didn't ring all day,
My
so I got
daughter, my
suspicious.
kid.
Guess what happens next? A surprising revelation occurs when Mr. Scott admits to going through Ms. Kalon's phone on the first night they met, suspecting her of infidelity. This invasive action sets the stage for ongoing trust issues and conflicts between them. Brace yourself. The truth is about to come out.
They progressed. I looked at my peripheral on how she did it, so I got her password.
Oh, wow.
I got her.
And you know why he does
Inspector Gadget.
Yeah, I had to
Go
me in my
figure.
previous relationship.
But-
So I went through her phone, and prior to us, I see that she had other text messages from other men.
Hold on to your seats, folks. Ms. Kalon confirms that Mr. Scott was the only person she was involved with during the time of conception, asserting her belief in his paternity without doubt. Her firm stance challenges Mr. Scott's suspicions and frames the emotional climax of the episode. The results are next, and you won't want to miss this.
Saying she got
sex a
pregnant
good
the
5
first time
times, though.
she came to visit.
Obviously,
For real,
I'm-
I mean, don't get it twisted. He had sex a good 5 times that night. Yes.
Yet
Don't let him sit here and play the
another
role.
fact I didn't
Clearly,
know.
yeah, I
Okay.
took you down. I
Right.
never said that. I
Right.
took you down. Yeah, I did.
Now I'm starting to believe this was part of your scheme or plan to get to her phone.
Are you ready for the big reveal? The court prepares to reveal the results of the paternity test.
Mr. Scott, you are not a father.
I apologize. I could be woman enough to apologize and keep it moving.
Can you even handle this? We're just getting started. Judge Lake opens the session by discussing the claims of Mr. Poravecchio against Ms. Touche and her daughter, Ms. Lutz. He accuses them of fraudulently receiving $150,000 from his father's death settlement, claiming Ms. Lutz is not his biological sister. Mr. Poravecchio seeks a DNA test to potentially reclaim this settlement. If you thought this was juicy, just wait for the next bit. It's a doozy.
Mr. Poravecchio, you claim that the defendants, Touche and her daughter, Ms. Lutz, fraudulently received $100,000 in settlement money from the death of your father, Ricky Poravecchio Sr. Because Ms. Lutz is not your biological sister and her mother covered up that fact. You've petitioned this court for a DNA test and hope to pursue a claim in your home state to have the money returned to your family.
Buckle up, this ride's getting bumpy. The narrative details the circumstances of Ricky Poravecchio Sr.'s death, which was ruled an accidental drowning while he was working on a tugboat. The dispute revolves around the distribution of the settlement money and the paternity of Ms. Lutz, with Mr. Poravecchio suspecting that the death benefits were wrongly awarded. Just when you think you've seen it all, the plot thickens even more. Stick around.
Been defrauded by the defendant.
My father was on a tugboat working and he drowned. Accidental death is what it's said on his death certificate.
That's what it was.
It's declared as accidental death, drowned.
So let me understand, your father at the time was married,
My mom, me,
Ms.
Laura
Touche.
I feel the settlement was awarded to Ms. Touche, had a maiden name. Her Mother Touche as a maiden name of Theo.
The emotions are running high here, folks. Ms. Lutz passionately defends her paternity and discusses the family dynamics following her father's death. She recounts memories of her father, indicating a close familial bond before his untimely death, which contrasts sharply with the current familial tensions centered around inheritance and paternity questions. Keep your eyes peeled. The next part is even more electrifying.
Excuse me? I was there.
Matter.
You were not.
Okay.
My mom and my dad were separated, right, when he died.
And just living apart, there was no
Right.
legality
They
to
were
it
not
at all.
divorced. Never.
No.
So I was not
Never
his daughter.
Okay, Mr. Porvecchio, you brought a couple of witnesses. You are Mr. Porvecchio standing here, his aunt.
He never denied me either. This is the first I'm hearing about this a few weeks ago because I have never heard that I was not a Porvecchio until we got into it on Facebook.
Did someone say plot twist? A significant escalation occurs when Ms. Cortez, Mr. Porvecchio Sr.'s sister, testifies. She suggests that Ms. Touche had an affair, which Mr. Porvecchio Sr. discovered, hinting at potential reasons for the family's doubt regarding Ms. Lutz's paternity. This revelation adds depth to the family's disputes and the complexities surrounding the inheritance. Fasten your seatbelts. It's about to get even more turbulent.
Is that my brother walked in on her having an
Oh
affair.
my God. How would you know something like that? Lie.
I was told
okay?
by my brother I was
That's-
21 years old.
Dawn, you just need to stop lying and be done with that. Your Honor, this is exactly what happened. When Ricky and I first met, I was somewhere around 16 years old immediately. He's a handsome, good-looking Italian man. I just couldn't help myself. I fell in love with him.
Oh, the drama intensifies. The court discusses the implications of the allegations against Ms. Touche, who clarifies her past relationships and the circumstances under which she was accused of infidelity. This segment underscores the deep-seated mistrust and emotional turmoil within the family, affecting their relationships and perceptions of each other. Next up, the moment of truth. Prepare for a wild ride.
One of the mechanics came out of the back who was a friend of my older brother and saw me sitting there, went to the auto parts store, bought brakes for my car. When I got home is when I found out my husband was so upset. I had been gone for so long.
So what you're saying, Ms.
Father's
Touche, is
funeral?
that's the only incident where you felt like your fidelity was...
He accused me, that was the second
So
time he accused
this
me and
gentleman that they're
apologized.
talking about, co-worker.
This is the big reveal we've all been waiting for. Grab your popcorn. The climax of the episode occurs with the reading of the DNA test results.
It has been determined by this court. Mr. Porvecchio and Ms. Lutz are siblings.
Thank
I
you.
told
Keep up
you.
the lies, Ricky.
I told
Keep
you, you're
with
done.
their lies.
You're done, Ricky.
Thank you very much, Dawn. I
You
wanted
brought
to
it
show
out,
you we
and
never
you
had this
got
problem
exactly
until they
what
got in the
you
middle of
deserve.
us.
You're not ready for this roller coaster. Just when Mr. Devin Hines thought family get-togethers couldn't get any more dramatic, he reveals that just 2 weeks prior, he learned from the defendant, Mr. William Hines, that he might not be his biological father. This bombshell has propelled Devin to seek a paternity test to confirm the truth. But wait, the emotional turbulence is just picking up speed.
Mr. Hines, just 2 weeks ago, you were shocked when the defendant revealed to you that he is not your biological father. You've petitioned the court for a DNA test to prove that he is, in fact, your father.
Hang on to your seats, folks. In a jaw-dropping twist, Mr. William Hines admits he owes over $20,000 in child support, but claims he has the ace up his sleeve, evidence proving he is not Devin's biological father. He's leaning back, waiting for the DNA test results to drop. Buckle up, because what's coming next is a wild ride.
You say you are currently behind more than $20,000 in child support, but claim to have evidence to prove you've always known the truth, that you are not plaintiff's biological father, and the results will confirm that today.
Did that just happen? In a chaotic exchange, Devin recounts how the startling news came to light. Out of the blue, his father's girlfriend threw in a comment about what Devin's aunt supposedly said, hinting that Devin might not be William's son, which sent shockwaves through the courtroom. Keep your eyes peeled. The next reveal is a doozy.
As of 2 weeks ago, out of nowhere, he pops out, not even him. His girlfriend pops out and say, hey, won't you tell him about what his aunt said? What did my aunt say? Oh, she said you might not be mine.
You're 36
Yes,
years
ma'am.
old.
And I'm looking like, huh? I kind of just blew it off, you know, like, okay, because we went on about the conversation or whatever. I didn't think too much of it. It wasn't like, oh, well, you know, this, and went on with it. It kind of just died off.
You can cut the tension with a knife. Devin accuses William of being a deadbeat dad who ditched his family back in '89 and didn't bother to look back. This intense back and forth digs deep into years of built-up resentment and abandonment issues. And guess what? It's about to get even more heated.
I don't know where this come from. I've been with you for 6 years, man. An only child. And I mean, this man man is the true definition of a deadbeat dad. You understand what I'm saying?
Deadbeat dad.
The true definition. This man left his whole family in 1989.
No, I didn't
Ain't
leave
look
you.
back. Who did you leave then?
She put me out.
She put him out, the government put him out, the dog put him out. Somebody put him out, and he never looked back from 1989.
Learning about your dad from a wanted poster, Devin drops a bombshell that the first recent image he saw of his father was on a wanted poster for owing a hefty sum in child support. It's a poignant and somewhat ironic discovery given their strained relationship. Don't go anywhere. The sparks are about to fly even higher.
We out and about. She said, look, Dick, with your father on the post. I looks up. It's a wanted poster for child support for $24,000. That's the picture that I seen of my father. That's my first time. So I said, oh, that's him? Yeah, that's him. We took down the poster board. I said,
Oh my
this the only picture I got of my father is him on $24,000.
Just when you thought it couldn't get more tangled, the court starts unraveling the possible motives behind William's denial of paternity, hinting that a hefty child support backlog might be driving his claims. The plot thickens, so stay tuned for an even twistier turn next.
I reach
And
out.
for 6 years, you all began to form a real father-son relationship.
Anything that you could say of a father and son, we was there. This man, in my opinion, is weak.
He says that he never in his life knew anything different, that you were his father. But you say you knew all along. Is that correct?
Yes.
Why is it you kept that secret?
Because he
His
got
mother-
a motive. That's why.
What?
Motive. That's why he's challenging everything.
Things are getting seriously intense. Amid rising stakes, Devin explains how he had to step up and make critical medical decisions for William while he was in a coma, highlighting the painful complexities of their relationship. The emotional roller coaster is far from over, so strap in for more.
I had to sign for aftercare, everything.
No, I didn't.
Because when you woke up, you was, oh, thank you for being here. Thank
That's
you for
like-
being
that's
here.
like they
But at
being
the
there.
same time, you thank me for being there, and I'm the only one that was there. The one that brought it up to me that, oh, you might not be his because of what she said. She wasn't there.
So you're doing the right thing and you're being a son and you're taking care of your father. That he's your biological son.
Because his mother cheated on me
She did.
a lot of times.
Enter the lioness defending her cub. Brenda Hines, Devin's mother, storms into the courtroom and instantly challenges William's version of the story, defending her son and accusing her husband of lying about everything. This fiery exchange adds another explosive layer to the drama. And believe it or not, the climax is just around the corner.
Please escort her into the courtroom.
Thank you.
Thank you for joining us, Ms. Hines. Your son, Devin, says your husband told him that he's not his biological father.
He's a liar. He's lying about everything.
I'm not lying.
Please explain.
For one thing, 2 weeks ago, you got a letter saying that you getting an increase on your Social
No, I
Security.
did not get no letters like that.
Finally, the moment of truth everyone's been waiting for. The DNA test results are revealed.
It has been determined by this court. Mr. Hines, you are the father.
Dang, you didn't cheat on me.
Can you believe this twist? Ms. Lapine drops a bombshell at a family gathering, revealing that a relative told her Mr. Lapine might not be her real dad. Shocked and confused by this revelation, she's driven to seek the truth in a courtroom, grappling with the serious implications it has on their lives. Meanwhile, Mr. Lapine shares his harrowing tale of being jailed over unpaid child support, coupled with the dread of a looming court date that could flip his world upside down once again based on today's paternity test results. Brace yourselves. The emotional roller coaster is just picking up speed.
For the past 30 years, you'd always believed the defendant, Mr. Lapine, was your dad. Then just months ago at a family dinner, you were told by a family member that he's not your biological father. Mr. Lapine, you say you've spent years in jail for unpaid child support. You could be locked up again if today's results prove you are indeed Miss Lapine's biological father.
Talk about a family drama. In a heartfelt recount, Ms. Lapine narrates the dinner table conversation that ignited doubts about who her father really is. As she confronts family members, she's met with evasion and vague responses, fueling her confusion and distress. Determined, she reaches out to Mr. Lapine the next day, sparking doubts in his mind too, based on his whereabouts during the supposed conception period. The plot thickens, and you won't believe what's coming next in this familial saga.
We was at a family dinner and we was all just discussing how our parents was. Then family members started saying that, well, you don't know if he's your dad or not because you don't look like your dad and he might not not be your dad.
Did you ever heard of anything like this?
No, Your Honor. I went to another family member and asked if this was true.
This part hits right in the feels. Mr. Lapine lays bare his struggles with imprisonment over unpaid child support, revealing the high stakes with his freedom on the line. He voices his turmoil about possibly being Ms. Lapine's biological father, a fact that could send him back to jail. This disclosure paints a vivid picture of his ongoing battles and the ever-present threat of incarceration. As the tension mounts, stay tuned because the revelations are about to get even more jaw-dropping.
You believe this young girl was your daughter?
Yes, ma'am. And I've been 4 to 5 years in jail. It gets rough.
For unpaid child support?
Yes, Your Honor.
For a young woman that calls you family member told me you may not even be my biological father.
Yes, Your Honor.
You actually have a court date tomorrow.
1:30 tomorrow afternoon.
Concerning the child support for this young woman that you're still behind on.
Yes, ma'am.
You won't see this coming. As the court drama unfolds, Ms. Lapine's half-sister Jennifer steps into the narrative, shedding light on her own perceptions of the ongoing family drama and the paternity doubts that have haunted their family for years. Jennifer's emotional account highlights deep-seated issues and the significant impact of these paternity doubts on their family relationships. This segment underlines the messy, emotional weight of the situation, affecting more than just the primary parties involved. Fasten your seatbelts. The emotional stakes are about to escalate even further.
Jerome, I think it's time we meet her. Please escort her in.
Amen.
Thank you for joining us. And your name?
Jennifer Lapine.
Mr. Lapine is your father?
Yes.
And you grew up believing Brandy was your sister. So when did you hear about there being any doubt?
I mean, we were always teased about it, but...
Who would tease you?
It's just different family members.
This segment is a real tearjerker. Delving deeper, Mr. Lapine expresses regret over his past decisions, especially the years he missed in his daughter's lives due to his stints in jail for child support issues. He reflects on how his absence has impacted his relationships with his daughters and the broader family dynamics, illuminating the personal and emotional costs of his legal troubles. The emotional intensity shows no signs of letting up. What happens next might just leave you speechless.
Where I've been paying child support?
Yeah.
I'd go to the courthouse and pay.
Jerome, please pass
I
me
would
that
have
evidence.
it taken out of my paychecks and everything else. I would go to the courthouse and make them take it out of my paychecks all the time. They go back.
Record after record.
They go back to 1998. Some spots in there that aren't there, I was in jail.
For unpaid child support.
Yes, ma'am.
And with a court date tomorrow, the stakes, they really can't be any higher because they could send you back to jail.
Yes, ma'am.
Grab the tissues for this one. As the courtroom drama approaches its climax, Ms. Opfer, Mr. Lapine's partner, shares the profound emotional and practical challenges the family faces each time Mr. Lapine is taken away to jail. Her testimony adds another layer to the ongoing struggle, highlighting how the paternity issue and related legal battles affect the extended family, including children from other relationships. The culmination of this court battle is nearly upon us, and it's bound to be a stunner.
It's been hard because every time Richard goes to jail, and not only do Brandy and Jennifer lose their father again, but also my 4 children.
You all are in a relation.
26 years.
Yes, ma'am.
26 years.
Yeah. Say they lose their father, and my children call him dad. Everybody suffers.
And your fear is he's gonna go back to jail tomorrow if these results prove that he is Brandy's biological father.
Well, it's...
Are you ready for this? The courtroom is on edge as the DNA test results are finally revealed.
Jennifer Lapine. Mr. Richard Lapine, you are her father. Ms. Brandy Lapine. Ms. Lapine, Mr. Richard Lapine is not your biological father.